They predicted a global explosion, possibly weather-related, through the nation's second-largest refinery. The huge blast occurred at the Exxon plant, which is nestled between the Mississippi River and Interstate 110, just a short ways from the state capitol building. It's the night before Christmas in Baton Rouge, and all is not quiet. This afternoon, a thunderous explosion rocked the Exxon Refinery just north of the state capitol, sending a huge fireball into the air along with thick, black, billowing smoke. Petroleum Inspector David Abshire was about 300 feet away from where the blast occurred, and he says at the time it seemed like the end of the world.
Just a gigantic fireball, and it seemed like the air was just totally full of objects. It was wood. There was wood, pieces of wood all around. I don't know where the wood came from. There was insulation all over the place.
At that point, did you think you had any chance at all of getting out alive?
We didn't really know it. We were pretty frightened, to say the least.
People more than 100 miles away reported feeling the monstrous blast, which knocked out electric power and telephone service in many areas around Baton Rouge. 5 storage tanks were quickly engulfed in flames. 2 of them contained more than 170,000 barrels of home heating oil. 3 adjacent smaller tanks filled with lubricating oil were also involved. Then, several hours later, 3 more tanks caught fire as the inferno raged on. In addition, a network of pipelines went up in flames, giving emergency crews all they could handle. The spectacular fire engulfed an area equivalent to 4 city blocks. While Exxon officials say the blaze is under control tonight, it still poses a...
We're going to start our own company. So we were fortunate. We staffed them with Japanese. I also believe...
Will spark over and it'll reignite, and we'll have to fight it again to get it out. So
you're not concerned about it spreading to other areas?
Obviously, we're always concerned, but at this point, we don't see any immediate danger of it spreading.
Late this afternoon, to compound problems, there was a loss of water pressure, forcing firemen to draw water from the Mississippi River. And the problems don't end there. While the smoke and fumes emitted from the tanks are not hazardous, potentially dangerous asbestos from the plant reportedly was found in neighborhoods more than 2 miles away. Exxon officials say it should not pose any health problems, but they're advising Baton Rouge residents not to pick it up. Governor Roemer and members of the State Police Hazardous Materials Unit were on the scene soon after the explosion.
I've offered them anything we have. The manager of Exxon and I spoke within 25 minutes of the explosion. We called each other. They're doing a good job, and we offer them any assistance.
Tonight, Exxon is trying to keep adjoining storage tanks cool to prevent them from exploding and adding to an already serious situation.
Now tonight, standing by live at the Exxon Refinery is our environmental specialist, Glen Duncan. Glen, most of us around Baton Rouge for many, many miles have seen the smoke and some flames earlier and throughout the day. What's the strategy tonight? Are they going to let the fire burn itself out, or are they going to try to keep putting it out?
That's a good point. We asked the firefighting officials just a moment ago. The fire is over my shoulder, and let me remind you, nearly 5 million gallons of fuel oil and lubricant oil is involved. You can see the flame pop up over a building every now and then within the smoke. Officials now tell me they're trying to contain the fire, keep it from spreading. That doesn't mean to attempt to douse it. The decision to douse it will come at a later point. They're now getting more materials on the scene, trucks, hoses, water, and foam, in an effort at a decision point later to actually go in and to try to douse it. I might add that the flames have spread to a few smaller storage tanks. And we don't know yet whether it's temperature related. This is not an operating part of the facility. Much of Exxon was shut down because of problems due to cold weather. But this is a storage area, not an operating area. And so the cause of the fire is very difficult to pinpoint. Standing with me from the Baton Rouge Fire Department Hazardous Material Unit, Officer Dale McKey. Dale, tell me right now the Baton Rouge role in fighting this fire.
Our role is to coordinate all the incoming agencies from outside of the plant, such as fire trucks, equipment. We have several of our fire trucks on the scene. We have several of the volunteer fire departments, St. George, Brownsville, several of all of the other outside fire department agencies.
Okay, why wouldn't there be Baton Rouge firemen on the scene right now fighting the fire? Apparently it's just Exxon and a company called Boots and Coots, a private company.
Right. Exxon has a fire brigade in place that is very well equipped to handle a situation such as this, and we provide them support as far as equipment and manpower.
Okay, the definitive word on any hazards, you are with the hazardous material unit. We've talked about a potential of asbestos fibers getting out earlier. Company officials tell me that the state environmental officials have found no dangerous asbestos fibers, no toxic fumes. What is your standpoint on that?
We've spoken with DEQ about that, and all that they have confirmed is particulates from the heating oil that is burning. There is no toxic problem that we have found.
Okay, thank you, Dale McKey. To sum up, there has been one confirmed fatality this evening, a contract worker. Late this evening, Exxon officials found him in a truck. He's confirmed dead. There have been 5 other people transported to the hospital. Again, almost 5 million gallons of fuel oil and lubricating oil continuing to burn over my shoulder tonight. No hazard to surrounding environment. Ed, that's the way it looks.
Okay, Glenn, thank you very much. Glen Duncan giving us an update from the situation there at Exxon. We should update.
Yes. We had actually just closed it down about 10 minutes prior to the explosion. So Larry was on Chippewa, saw it, turned around, went back. Some of his people were still there, so it opened back immediately, and we went right into action.
One quick question in closing, Mayor. Who is in control of what's happening at Exxon tonight? Is it them? Is it the city? Is it who?
Well, within Exxon, it's Exxon. Outside of Exxon, the city of Baton Rouge cooperating with state and other agencies, and we've had good cooperation from everybody.
All right, Mayor Tom Ed McHugh, thanks for joining us tonight.
Glad to be with
on the Night Desk. There is still more to report on today's explosion at the Exxon Refinery. When we come back, we'll take a look at efforts by National Guards to put a stop to looting this evening.
Plus, General Manuel Noriega has turned himself in. We'll have that story as well. Stay with us.